Hello and welcome to BlackJack Sports. I'm Jack Skirky alongside with Blake Lumberger on our usual Thursday show as we are back to our normal day as it was a busy week last week from the holiday season. Now we are back at our normal day and scheduled time and day podcast as we're going to talk about some college football top four rankings of the final standings of where things shake up, as well as some NFL talk as well. Let's begin the with the top four college football rankings in the college football playoff. As I've mentioned earlier, Notre Dame will be playing in the Cotton Bowl against Clemson, as well as Oklahoma takes on Alabama in the Orange Bowl, which is where our games stand for a playoff perspective in the college football. Let's start off with this Oklahoma and Alabama matchup in the Orange Bowl. As I see the Heisman Trophy finalist, the Kyler Murray as quarterback, likely to take over as big numbers as Tua in the conference championship game had not had a big game, despite that Alabama winning in that one. But Tua just couldn't come up with any big numbers in their half of football, which is why Kyler Murray is probably their front runner for right now. And Haskins and those quarterbacks are the top three finalists, and that's where we stand right now for the finals of the Heisman Trophy. Dwayne Haskins and Tua Tagovailoa are my top three finalists. He's there. He's the quarterback from Ohio State. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the news of what happened a few days ago as Ohio State's Urban Meyer is retiring from coaching after the Rose Bowl. That that I did wanted to bring you. I do of how I feel about that is yeah, I am shocked that he is not returning to Ohio State next year. They actually didn't know because he was hugging in an emotional crying feeling and with his wife at the end of that Michigan game that you saw a a, 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 a few weeks back, and he just looks so emotional. And what he really did to this team and how he accomplished himself as a man, he just didn't know that it was. I just didn't know that it was going to be his last game at the Horseshoe. Nobody saw that coming, and nobody knew what this team is really going to look like going forward. You know, I haven't seen that, but I'm pretty sure he put decent numbers. Well, well, let me start with this. Ohio State has had a lot of changes, especially with their head coach departing, and probably changing their offense in a whole different way. Georgia had a good year. They just came up with this loss against a really good team at LSU. As for Ohio State, on their football team, they just came up with a really bad loss at Purdue, which came to an which was the only team that I saw that upset Ohio State in that year, which looked like to be which looked like that they were going down big, and they were. And what I've seen of how they performed this year was really just they're just in that game that their season just went down a fluke, which is what I saw from that Ohio State team that they don't have anybody in the linebacker position and their defense is playing poorly. That is why this Ohio State team has been performed in a very non high level, which is why they have gave up this, which is why their defense has been giving up so many points, and that is something that they have not dealt with this season. And Georgia, yeah, they had a good season, but they just got crushed by Alabama in the championship game, and they will be ended up playing in the Sugar Bowl against Texas. And yeah, I'm sure in that play that I want to talk to you about, Blake, that 4th and 11 call by that coach, that was probably the worst call I've ever seen. And Blake, I would ask you, Blake, because that play calling that I've seen of how what Georgia did, 4th and 11 call, that call, if you're playing in a and and Justin Fields, not Justin Fields, but yeah, Justin Fields in that call, he was a very young quarterback, and whenever you're in that situation of that, whenever in that big play and doing that punt, and with a very young quarterback having the ball, that is something is that takes a lot of work and a lot of pressure on you, and that should really handle those situations, and you should have never gave the ball to a young quarterback in that situation. Yeah, the defense has not played. The defense has not. Yeah, they were putting up a lot of pressure on their quarterback, and they just came up short in that play. And again, with a very young quarterback, with a lot of defensive players coming up with a big play, that's what ended up happening because Georgia on that particular play didn't know what they saw coming, and then the Alabama defense made the big play. That's what ended up happening, and that's what made Georgia lose that game. They are going to be played both on December 29th, bowl season. I don't know which bowl game you're particularly talking about. They are, but they're not great bowl games. I'm going to tell you, and I want to explain to you about that because the small FBS school bowl games are that happen before Christmas, and then after Christmas, you got the really big bowl games. Like I want to explain to you some bowl games here. Vanderbilt's going to be playing against Baylor in that bowl game, the Houston Bowl, in Houston, and and then we got Michigan, who lost to Ohio State, going to be hosting Florida in Atlanta, and then we got Texas A&M taking taking on Mississippi State in Jacksonville, and then my next game, what? I think that's the matchup for that bowl game. I'm not in particular sure, but I think that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a wise matchup. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's not. I mean that's not bad to me. Let's see. What's the other game that I'm seeing here? South Carolina is going to be playing. I'm glad you thought about it, Blake. They are going to be playing NC State in Charlotte at the Belk Bowl. That's an interesting matchup because NC State's coming up with a NC State and NC State for me. I think they're a I think they're a decent football team, and they're going to be one of my surprise teams in this year's bowl season. It will, Blake, and it will draw the attention of how this game really will play out, and it's going to be another challenge for Will Muschamp's squad. Yeah, it's pretty chilly here too, but I'm sure we have the same weather here. But good talking to you. Of us. Yeah, yeah. It's just our family siblings in the wall. Yep, that's me in the middle, and that's my sister on the right, and my brother in the left. Yep, that's me. I was my hairstyle was different. I was a cute guy back then. Thanks, Blake. Have a good weekend. Take care.